Yeah, so we're here to make some predictions. We're here to speak a little bold, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe this will be I don't know, one of those shows where we talk a lot of safe calls. Maybe we get crazy. I don't know. I did my bracket already, and you guys saw me unfold that live on the show. No preparation. I just did it live. I don't know if I'm even going to change it. I did say when I did that, it was a quick little go at the bracketology of the NFL playoffs here in 2024/2025, and I reserved the right to change my mind. Let's see if I'm going to change my mind from these picks right here. The Fantasy Football Show NFL Playoff Bracketology Pick'em News Phone Call Edition begins right now. File on in.
Call into the show. Call.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. Live whenever, a game ends or right before games. We're always live. We're live. I try to be live more than anybody on the planet. Now, I have been taking, this is kind of when people say, I take a break. I've been doing like one show a day. During like the middle part of the week, I've been doing the graveyard show with the 8 p.m. show pretty much every other day other than that. But for the most part, we're going to get into absolute like mind-blowing, almost too much content to consume gear here in the next day or two. Rookie content, you name it. So we will be breaking it down here today, the Super Bowl picks. This is, as of right now, my bracket that I filled out on Fox NFL here. I went ahead and decided that the Chargers would face off against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think that's going to change. I think that the Houston Texans look like they're showing up and accidentally got an invitation to the playoffs. They're not going anywhere. Baltimore Ravens, there's no way. I shouldn't say no way, this is the NFL. But I think Russell Wilson's not at all the kind of guy that's going to win this game against the Baltimore Ravens. It's not going to happen in my mind. This is going to be an embarrassing exit for Tomlin, and then we're going to talk about how Tomlin screwed up again. But he's such a good coach. He's a winning coach. He does so good during the regular season. But he botched the Russell Wilson Fields transition. There should have been no transition. Fields was 4-2, 3-0 against playoff teams, and Russell Wilson's what, 0-4 against playoff teams? Russell Wilson is dog water. Buffalo against the Denver Broncos. I think the Buffalo Bills advanced, face off against the Baltimore Ravens. This is a tough game. This is one where I kind of like him. Am I going to switch it? Could Baltimore knock off the Buffalo Bills? Absolutely. This might be, I'm going to take this Buffalo Bill decision off the board and just, I might put it back. I'm just saying I'm going to redo this right now. We got a super chat, $20 holler from Sean. Sean, congratulations, young man. You're about to get a $20 holler celebration, son.
Alert. Super chat alert.
To Jupiter.
That's my boy, Sean. Appreciate you, my boy. Sean, where were we? What screen were we on? We were on the bracketology screen, weren't we? 10-team Superflex Dynasty question, 3-way trade. I would get Achane and Bucky. Giving up Stroud and Breece Hall. I have JD5 and Fields. Am I a knee-jerk reacting about Stroud, or would you do Achane and Hall for, man? So, do you say Superflex here? Dynasty Super. Okay, so Superflex. It is really tough to give up a quarterback in a Superflex, and you don't know if Fields will be starting anywhere next year. We kind of assume he will be, but we have no guarantees on that. At the end of the day, though, I don't know that I'm drafting Stroud next year at a Superflex in 2025. Like, if doing a startup draft today, Superflex, I don't know that I'm drafting Stroud ahead of Achane or Bucky. I don't know that I'm there. I know we love quarterbacks, top 5 quarterbacks, well above a Bucky or a Breece Hall or an Achane. In a Superflex dynasty startup or a Superflex yearly, you draft quarterbacks. But I don't know that Stroud is anywhere near a top 5 quarterback go forward. So, Sean, I'm going to say starting gig. Let me see if I can make this smaller. This thing is out of control. Sean, your $20 hauler is taking over the screen, bro. There we go. Okay, I'm going to say, so let me read the trade again. You would get Achane and Bucky. You're giving up Stroud and Breece Hall. Chat, can we vote on this one? Achane and Bucky or Stroud and Breece Hall? Can we get a vote on this Superflex Dynasty trade? That's a really, really tough trade. That's a really tough trade. I love Breece Hall. He's going to be one of the most talked about players this offseason at the cost of entry. But the truth of the matter is, in a yearly league draft, he's going to go in the 3rd round probably. And so in a Superflex, he probably goes around 4. Bucky, I think, goes in the 2-3 turn territory in a Superflex. I think same for Achane. Stroud probably goes in the 2nd round, but I don't know that I take him in the 2nd round. I don't know that I think I forego quarterback in that situation on the clock versus taking Stroud. Give me the 2 RBs, bro. Give me the 2 RBs. Final answer. Final mother freaking.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Final mother freaking answer, bro. Appreciate you, my boy Sean. And we had another super chat here from TM42. I got the Ravens winning the Super Bowl. Well, I might have the Ravens advancing. I'm not positive yet what I'm going to do here. So hang tight. This is, like I said, I reserved the right when I first ran through this real quickly to change my mind. And I pulled off the Buffalo Bills from winning this championship round. KC does advance over the Chargers. Of that, I have no doubt. This side of the fence, we got the Eagles waiting, right? Got the Eagles sitting there. Or I'm sorry, the Lions waiting. You got the Eagles winning against the Green Bay Packers, in my opinion. But you can say what you want. You could say that the Green Bay Packers are going to come to play football. But the bottom line is Jordan Love, while he's been pretty good, he kind of felt like he had not as bad of a year as Stroud. But I feel like there's a lot of meat left on the bone for him in terms of getting every single bit of the production out that we thought he could have. You know, I think in some ways he's a poor man's version of Josh Allen's situation. Josh Allen has no wide receivers, but he's doing it. And Jordan Love, they don't get him elite wide receivers. I like Jaden Reed, but they don't use him the way they need to. I don't know. I love Jacobs. I like Green Bay. They're kind of crafty. Could they knock off one team like this in one game and then lose the next round? Sure. But I'm gonna say Eagles advance. No doubt about it. I'm gonna reserve the right to take. I'm gonna take this Tampa Bay Washington game off the board, and maybe switch that one again. This was my initial take, and I'm potentially let me take off this. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. No take backs on the Chiefs winning the divisional round and going on and moving on to the championship round. Not taking that back. Not taking back any of the winners I had coming out of Wild Card Weekend. I have the Chargers winning. I have the Ravens winning. I have the Buffalo Bills winning. I have the Eagles winning. I have. Oh, this is the one I need to. Yeah. So these two. So I guess I'm gonna go Rams. That game's moved to Arizona, by the way. That game has been moved to my home state.
Let him cook.
Maybe I'll run into Kyron Williams. Okay. I'm going to say the Rams win this game still. I'm going to keep my initial thoughts on this to be true. Look, Sam Darnold, I always want to call him Sam Bradford. Is it the same thing? Sam Darnold at this point, we don't know what he is. And I feel like I'm not crazy to be like, I don't like what I'm seeing right now. I certainly think he could bounce back, but the Rams are a tough team to figure. I don't know that they advance far, but they can knock off any one team at any given moment. So I think they're going to do that here. I'm going to have the Rams winning this game. As far as probably the toughest call here is this Washington Commander Bucks game. I don't know what in the hell to do here. My brain is saying Bucks. My heart is saying Washington. And I'm not saying my brain's right. My brain sometimes is wrong, and my heart says, bro, why do you think my heart's beating like this? Because it's guiding you. It's the guiding light of the situation. I feel like... Ray, I'm in the middle of doing that right now, my boy. I just smashed it. Yes, I'm going with the Rams. Ray G to the moon. Ray G to Jupiter.
To Jupiter.
Denny's on the phone right now. Maybe Denny wants to give his input. Denny, are the Bucks? Who's winning between the Bucks and the Commanders? Denny.
I love them both. Man, I love them both. I'm going Bucks. I'm going Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
It's just my money. It's just my wallet. It has nothing to do with love.
Can I get a don't cry for me Argentina, but instead of Argentina, can you replace Argentina with Baker Tina?
What, you don't like Baker?
No. I want you to say don't cry for me, Baker. Go ahead.
Don't cry for me, Baker Tina. But I do. I have the.
I like Baker. Look, here's the thing, Denny, and this is what I was saying before you dialed in, is that the Bucks. My brain is telling me the Bucks. Bucky, run attack, Evans, McMillan's going off. McMillan's absolute dog. Baker's just in his bag. The Commanders don't feel like their run game, except for JD5, of course, is on like point right now. I feel like you've got McLaurin kind of finishing kind of in a spotty fashion. I feel like it's JD5 putting it all on his back. Looking amazing, marching down in a near comeback. He looks great, kind of like Penix Jr. the other night, week 18. Almost did it, looked remarkable, almost doing it. We all loved it. We say, hey, you didn't do it. You didn't win the game, Penix Jr., but you look fantastic doing it.
Yeah.
I just wonder if I'm using my heart, I want to say Washington, but if I'm using my brain, the Bucks across the board, the lower seed here, the advantage, I'm feeling like it's going to be Baker touchdown maker, or as you just beautifully sung, don't cry for me, Baker Tina. Can I get one more but a higher voice? Go ahead.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
No, Baker Tina. No.
Baker. Don't cry. Baker. Yeah,
Go ahead.
Don't cry for me, Baker me.
No, don't cry for me, Baker Tina. Go.
I'm sorry, I forgot what I was supposed
to say.
Don't
cry for me, Baker Tina. Go.
Don't cry for me, Baker Tina. I don't know. I'm really.
Okay. You're under a lot of pressure right now. I know this isn't exactly your jam. Hey, to get yourself back into a groove, do you want to sing your usual? Go ahead. People talking.
Let me just one. People are talking about people. They say
there you go. I think that resets you. I feel like that grounds you. Like if you ever feel off, you just sing your song. It's kind of like you resetting your brain. Okay.
Yeah, it's like that little harmonica thing. Yeah, I kind of. People are talking about people.
Want it.
Want it.
The top most wanted outlaw.
Okay, let's get this going here. So I'm doing my bracket. You can stay on the phone with me, but let me get through this. I have the Bucks advancing against the Eagles. I got the Lions. The Lions going facing off against the Rams. So I'm going to say, as much as I love the Rams beating Minnesota, looking good, having lots of weapons, and being a team that can knock any team off at one moment, but maybe can't get it done consecutively when it counts against all these big dogs in a row, I'm going with the Detroit Lions, who are just an absolute well-rounded arsenal of dogs. Then we got Eagles, Bucks. Okay, look, could Baker do this? He could. And part of me's tempted.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
What is what's another word for dollar? Like a dollar.
I got
I
pain
give
on my
you a
nose.
couple of. If I give you a couple dollars, I give you a couple
biscuits. Like what do you want? You want me to get another word for dollar? Ziggy. What's another word for the term? What?
Let's just say, Smitty, I owe you a couple of
The
dollars.
word what can be replaced with
Then
one
you
in most
would say,
contexts.
hey, you
Ziggy,
owe me
Is
a
a
couple
word
of.
that can serve
Ziggy,
as a pronoun.
off. Did you want another word for dollar? Is that what you're asking me?
Why do you keep asking me that?
You keep asking. I thought you asked me that, Spider.
I.
All right, hey, Denny, quiet real quick. Denny, quiet real quick. Let me get through this. I have the Eagles potentially, or do I? The Eagles advancing over the Bucks. I kind of want to say Bucks. You know why? I want to. Sirianni pisses me off. I think his team is carrying him, and I think that everything's being enabled by winning. Barkley's kind of like Christian McCaffrey was carrying Shanahan. Christian McCaffrey was carrying the Niners. I think Barkley's been carrying the Eagles. There's a little turmoil in the wide receiver room and quarterback room right now. Hurts had the concussion. He's full practice today, but Sirianni's kind of a mess. I feel like this team's vulnerable. I think they're going to have a tough battle against Green Bay. They're going to win, but they have a tough battle. Part of me thinks the Bucs are going to do this. I think the Eagles are the one team I could see getting knocked out. And we're like, wow, like the Eagles getting knocked out. They also could win it all. And I did a futures, Eagles versus the Chiefs, and the Chiefs wins me like $2,000. And then I did Eagles versus the Chiefs, same matchup, and the Eagles winning. I do that all the time. I hedge it. So I'm rooting for the Eagles Chiefs, and I don't care who wins because it's the same payout. It's like $2,000. And I get it. Either one happens. But my brain right now, that was a future. I made that in the preseason. My brain right now is saying that Tampa Bay's full of dogs. The Eagles are kind of like in shambles internally, and the foundation's cracked. I'm doing it. Bucks advance. Doing it live. Let him cook. Bucks advance.
Let him cook.
You're going to make a lot of bucks. Nice call, Smitty. Nice call. Bucks all day. Okay,
right.
I'm going to mute myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, mute yourself. I got to go back in the mode here. I don't know. Who likes this? I haven't even looked at the chat yet. Who likes this?
Who cares?
Eagles overcome. I did factor in the Eagles D is also carrying this team, but I don't know. It's in shamble mode right now. A little bit. I want to make something bold. I don't want it. Look, this is a little bit of a bold bracket. Okay, my softball approach was the Eagles going, and there's no upsets. I'm doing a little upset bracket here. Okay, this is an upset bracket. Do it live.
Jack up. Otherwise, nothing.
Buffalo Soldiers advancing against the Baltimore Ravens, or the Ravens advancing over the Buffalo Bills. What am I doing here? What's going on? Trying to start your engine? Sounds like you're trying to start a car. I'm gonna go.
I'm in the automotive industry. I told you that. Remember that? I am a mechanic, but
This is another one, Denny, where I'm like thinking my heart wants Buffalo. You know, that's my second team.
All right.
You
like God.
I'm a Josh Allen guy. Buffalo's my second team. I'm always rooting for Josh Allen. I'm always rooting for the Bills. My heart wants to say Buffalo.
Buffalo soldier, Smitty don't like it. Oh, it's called the Buffalo soldier. Smitty don't like it. Why I do? Smitty don't like it.
I'm sticking with my boys. I can't do it. Okay, so Buffalo advances. I really think this could be a great game. It's going to be probably the best game out of all games, assuming that the Chiefs-Lions Super Bowl. If the Chiefs bring it, and I think they will. I think people are expecting like a 13-10 game. They don't realize that the Chiefs are back to full go. This is a Hollywood Brown, Pacheco back in action offense. Worthy's in his bag. So I'm gonna say Chiefs advance though. I'm gonna say the Lions advance. I'm gonna stick with everything in my bracket. The main thing I switched was the Bucks advancing through the Eagles, and I'm gonna go KC wins it all. That's my bracket. Final answer.
Wow.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I mean, so your only real upset is...
it's a pretty big upset, though, Denny. The Bucks beating the Eagles is a pretty... I mean, not only that, getting past Washington's already tough for me to do because I love my boy J85, but...
I do too. I love that kid.
Yeah.
I love that kid.
All right. Here we go. All right, where are we at? Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show.
Hey, what's that kid calls from Massachusetts? Is that kid named Travis?
Yeah, Travis. Yeah, you like Travis, don't you?
Yeah, he calls all the time. Yeah, I never get a chance to talk to him.
85, that's your boy. The golf, it's not about betting in favor of my boys and not in favor of you got to bet with your brain. When we're talking about picks, NFL picks and money. You're not talking about fantasy. You're not talking about you got to try and break it down with the logic. And I'm not saying I don't love JD5, and I'll be rooting for JD5, but I'm also rooting for Bucky. I'm rooting for McMillan. I mean, we got show peaks. Travis says sorry, Denny. We'll talk soon.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Travis. Is that what it boys? Yeah, we'll talk soon. All
right. Anything else? I got to move on, Denny. Anything else? Appreciate you.
Yeah, well, no. So your upset is, Bucks? The Eagles are hurt. They're hurting. For some reason, the Eagles are hurting. So getting past the Eagles is not a big deal.
It is, Denny. They're the number 2 seed, and they have arguably the best defense in the league.
Eagles aren't going to make it. Bucks, yeah, and then you know who's going to...
Good talk, Denny.
The whole thing, oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, Denny, call back in a little bit. All right?
No, fine. All right.
People, can I get a people talking one more time?
Well, I was called the voice of a generation. People are talking. Talking about people. They say we just...
All right, Denny. We'll see you in a bit. Call back in a little bit. All right, later, Denny. All right, Farb, you're live.
What's up, man? I haven't got a chance to call, but I just wanted to say I appreciate it, man. I got 2 championships this season, 2 second place that just fell a little short on some bad weeks from some guys. But, man, 4 championships finals and came out with 2 trophies. Appreciate all the advice and everything this season.
Nice job, bro. Nice job. Good way to work it. We start over now. We're prepping for 2025 like no other. This is not a 2025 show, but phone lines are always open for it. But, yeah, most part we're getting into the thick of it all right now already. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, I got the dynasty league too. So tapping in on the rookies and the draft and stuff. So I'll be listening.
All right, man. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Later.
Appreciate it, man.
Scuba Steve, where you been, bro? You always call in the off season. We don't hear a word from you during the season. We don't ever.
Hey, I'm sorry, man.
It's like, straight beginning of the off season. Here's Scuba Steve. Pardon the mess in the office. I got all kinds of stuff I've been moving around and cleaning up. Scuba, what can I do for you?
Hey, Smitty, I just wanted to thanks for some of the advice, man. I ended up winning a championship. I was trying to go 2 for 2, but it didn't work out based off of some start-sit decisions. But hey, man, I won a championship. I took some of your advice. I took some of the guys that you said were going to be pretty good this year, and it ended up working out.
Attaboy. Who's your favorite player this year that really kind of took your league by storm, and you were glad you selected him? Who was the guy? Who was the guy? HN or a Kyron or a JD5 or a Bucky in mid-season? And, who was the guy that really set you apart, you think, this year?
Well, a couple guys, but one of the first ones I think what helped me out was Josh Jacobs, because it started out slow, but towards the second half he went off. And then Bucky Irvin, I picked him up, and also too, I don't know how it was for a lot of other people, but Chase Brown, I think it was
Chase Brown.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. He ended up going off. So those 3 guys definitely helped me out.
Yeah, Bucky.
Get buckied.
And Chase Brown, yeah, he was such a phenomenal pick. And that one hurt in weeks 1 and 2. He didn't do anything till week 3, I think it was. But I remember week 1 and 2, everyone's like, "What in the hell is going on here?" You said this guy was going to do something, Smitty. He's not even starting. And the weird part about it is whenever there was any video released of preseason practices, especially in the preseason, not talking about the off season like camp or anything, in the camp too, but in the preseason during practices midweek, there'd be footage of all the starters out there, and it was always Chase Brown. He was always out there, in the gun with Joe Burrow, and all of a sudden week 1 comes around and it's the Zach Moss show. And that prediction looked like it was getting kicked right in the nutsack. But boy, did he come around. But Chase Brown to the moon. All right, anything else, Scuba? I'm going to jump to the next caller. You got anything?
Yeah. So, Smitty, do you give out some type of advice as far as so I'm actually going to be doing it's a playoff pool. I'm sure you've done those on Underdog and everything, but this is someone's setting it up where you take 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, the receiver, tight end.
Yeah, just be here in the graveyard. Be here graveyard.
Yeah.
We draft on Underdog with the mittens. We do all the playoff stuff. We draft we'll be drafting most midnights.
Okay, yeah, I'll come check it out because I have some questions as far as which guys would you be targeting as far as setting those guys up? Because the most that I could probably do is you don't even have to draft. You just get to pick off of whoever you want. And you just submit your roster. So I think it's
call in and we'll discuss it. Yeah, call in and we'll
okay.
discuss it. Make a midnight show. We'll be doing it live then. All right, later, bro.
All right, thanks, man. Later, bro.
Purdue, you're live. What's up, my boy? Mars Man extraordinaire.
Smitty, had to call in. Sorry, I've been a bit of a ghost over the season. It's been a heck of a year, but I just wanted to call in and say what's up. Still appreciate you and everything you're doing. And it was close in the Markman League this year, but just again couldn't pull it out. So on to next year.
Yep, on the next year. I had some teams that my team in Miss Smitty's work league, which it should be a cakewalk, right? My team was unbelievable, and I didn't even make the play. They only have 4 people make the playoffs, so they got a real weird league. But I think I was the 5 seed, but I had to climb back. I was last 4 weeks to the end of the season, to the regular season. I was in last place, and my team finally got healthy, and they all just started firing off, and I climbed all the way up to 5th, and then they only allowed 4 teams in the playoffs, which is so weird. They don't even play the playoffs until the last 2 weeks. But anyway, my team was remarkable. I had such a squad. I mean, I'll even read it off. I got it right here. And some teams just don't. It just doesn't happen. And the points against all that. It's there's no shame in not getting all your teams through to a championship. It is what it is. I had teams that were mediocre that I won, and then this particular team just devastated. That this is my squad: Jalen Hurts, Puka Nacua, Devontae Smith, Kyron Williams, Devon Achane, Bijan Robinson, Bucky, or I'm sorry, not Bucky, Chase Brown, Jaden Daniels. I couldn't even use Chase Brown. Each week it was Kyron, it was Bijan, and this team I couldn't get a trade done. No one's responding to trades to try and get rid of Chase Brown to get a better upgrade over Devontae Smith. But I had JD5 and Hurts, I had Puka Nacua, and this team didn't make the playoffs. It just the combination of everything each week. I got hit with losing a week.
Too many landmines, right?
Yeah, facing the highest scoring team, but that team was remarkable. So it is what it is. I'll be tearing that league to pieces next year out of just absolute straight revenge.
The one that gets me this year was the championship in the league, and my team went off literally every cylinder except kicker and defense, who put up average numbers. Everyone else put up stellar numbers, but Achane, I don't know what happened there. That cost me a championship, that little 4 or 5 point game.
Well, I mean, Tua Tagovailoa happened. He got hurt, and then New Age Outlaws dropping 20 gifted memberships. Absolute
alert.
Dog.
Super chat alert.
Love to see it.
New Age, appreciate you.
Smitty,
All right, bro.
Sorry I've been a ghost. I just
No
wanted
problem.
to just say, hey, still loving the channel, still loving your work, and
All right, bro.
Keep it on the grind.
All right, call in more often later. Let me hit these super chats real quickly, and thank you again, New Age, for dropping the 20 gifted memberships. If anybody got one from New Age, make sure you let New Age know you appreciate him, because he dropped 20 gifted memberships. Let me put that on screen. New Age to the moon. Ray G, thanks again for the $2 hauler. Says, are you going Rams or Vikings? I went Rams, but it's close. It's close, bro. Himothy. Where's my music? Neighbors or Bucky? Next year's keeper. Neighbors round 5, Bucky round 13. Asked a couple weeks ago. Just stuck on that. Chat, can you vote on this one? I mean, they're both fantastic. Neighbors is such a good value at 5, but maybe you go Bucky at 13. It depends, how many years can you keep this value? If it's 2 years, then I don't know. It makes it a little different, but if this is forever, and if it climbs climbs a round or 2 rounds each year, I need all that information too, Timothy. All that stuff's going to help us make the decision, but it's tough. It's tough. The thing you got to say to yourself is Neighbors and Bucky 13 round 5 is very, very different. But at the end of the day, the value of Neighbors in 5 is so dramatic that it's okay to not take the later value. You're getting so much value out of that round 5. The question you got to ask yourself when you enter a situation like this is to go, hey, do I like Bucky in the 5th rounder? Who's going to be there in the 5th round? With the keepers involved and everything. And if you're telling me you can get Joe Burrow or something, or you could get I don't know, a T. Higgins or something like that, then all of a sudden you got to look at those 2 players are maybe better than just Neighbors. But if in the 5th round we're talking about it being pretty bleak because of keepers and everything, it's really a 5th rounder is really more like a 7th rounder. So at the end of the day, I don't know. It depends on how many people. Probably more like a 6th rounder, because people are going to keep some guys that are written outside of round 5. So that's a tough one. Very, very tough. Very, very tough. What's the chat think here? Do you like Neighbors in round 5 or Bucky in round 13? I don't think you could go wrong with either one. But I do need to have that information. If you could give me the details on, like, do you lose a round or two each year? The guy super chat at $5 says, Smitty, thank you. I won my championship. You called it months back. Happy New Year, my guy. And Lions by 20 against check down patty cakes. I think you're going to underestimate Patty Mahomes walking into this one, bro. He's not going to be playing the same level that everybody's expecting him to play. He's on a whole new level. Bucks. Yeah, the chat. I agree with the chat. I think my answer to you last time was neighbors. At the end of the day, you can't chase that value too far downstream. Like, Bucky in 13 is amazing, bro. But at some point, like, neighbors is getting you such an advantage in the 5th round. I wouldn't let that number change your mind. I think what I said last time, neighbors, I'm going to stick with that and say at the end of the day, round 5's crazy. Now, if you could only keep the player, if you could keep the player forever, it makes you contemplate, like if you increased every 2 years, let's say, or every year it increased 2 rounds. Now all of a sudden, or 1 round even, neighbors goes to the 4th round, then he goes to the 3rd round. Bucky's going to be able to, trickle down a lot slower. But at the end of the day, though, how many years will a running back last? I'm going to go ahead and take neighbors. Neighbors for me. Appreciate you. It's a great question, though. Fantastic question. Absolutely elite question, my boy. And a tough call. Final answer, elite neighbors. All right, dial in. We're going to take a few more phone calls. We'll be back tonight for a midnight show, though. So, we're not going to sit here too long tonight, because we will be back. And the off-season shows, at least initially, are a little shorter. They're about an hour to an hour and a half versus 3 and 4 hour shows like we do during the season. But it also depends on the news. It depends on the phone calls. It depends on the super chats. It depends on everything. But for the most part, oh, by the way, if any of you have kind of been distant and you're kind of circling back in, I don't know if you know, but we got Jupiter men, which is the highest level, Mars men, Saturn men. Saturn's the 2nd level, Mars is the 3rd, and Moon men. We have at least 1, in some cases 2, pretty much in most of the cases 2 predictions for 2025 already. I give you the Moon men.
The Moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
Right now it's just Dylan Sampson, rookie running back, Tennessee. He's going to be an absolute monster.
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
Scattaboo.
Mars men.
Running back, rookie, Arizona State. My alma mater times
Loads
2.
Dropping and spinning aimlessly
absolute
in
monster.
space.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Look at these guys. Genty, Irving.
Spaceman. The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger monsters than the Jupiter men.
Get buckied. 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 Oh, Bucky.
Yeah.
One phone call, and we're out of here. One phone call, and we're out of here. We also have our Mid-season monsters to fill up. Revenge tour. We should put a revenge tour player on here. Let's select one now.
Revenge tour, revenge tour. Revenge tour, revenge tour.
Revenge tour candidate. I haven't even thought about adding somebody yet to the revenge tour. Like Mahomes could be on the revenge tour, to be honest with you. He had such a bland year. AR5 could be a revenge tour candidate. Dak, just throwing out some names. Running back, we could have revenge tour. We could be looking at potentially I don't think McCaffrey, but some of you might. No for me. Kenneth Walker, what if he got traded? The running back revenge tour is a little bleak. I don't even know that there's a lot of revenge tour candidates to even throw around. I mean, you got Kamara aging out, you got McCaffrey aging out with the bilateral Achilles tendonitis. Montgomery got hurt. He could bounce back in a way. Yeah, I mean, damn. Oh, Breece Hall. Breece Hall. Number one revenge tour candidate. I was just glancing through the rankings and saw his mug, and I was like, what am I doing? This is probably the best revenge tour candidate. He's also going to be one of the most highly touted players on this channel at the cost of entry. So Breece Hall, first and foremost, he's the leader. We're going to put him dead center, big graphic right there. Revenge tour. There we go. I don't want to put them all on the board, but that's pretty much it. Like it's Breece Hall. As far as running backs, I haven't got the receivers yet. MHJ will certainly be on it. Jamar Chase, AJ, Lamb, Neighbors, no. I mean, Lamb still did good. You got MHJ, Rashee Rice coming back from injury. That certainly could be one. I'm going to throw MHJ on there now. I don't mind putting these guys on here. We could do a more official announcement of this, but MHJ Revenge Tour, no doubt about it. DK Metcalf could be a Revenge Tour candidate because he kind of had a disappointing year. Let's see here. Rashee Rice. I think Rashee Rice, he's got the possible suspension. The knee injury is pretty gruesome. We'll come back to that one. Debo's a good candidate, Joe, but, it would be the trade. A trade would make sense, right? Jeez. Other wide receivers, let me just take a gander down memory lane here. We got DK's good. That's a good one. DK Metcalf, that's the only one I can come up with right here. DK Metcalf, Tyreek Hill, no. Olave, no thank you. Debo, I don't think I'm going to ride the Debo train too crazy until he gets traded. I know predicting that stuff is the thing we want to do here, but as far as putting him on this list, I'm not ready to do that. But I would definitely, if he gets traded, we'll put him on here, no doubt about it. Hollywood Brown, it's a decent thought. Tank Dell, he's not going to be ready. Man, it's weird looking. I'm sure we'll come up with more, but Cooper Kupp, maybe if he got traded, he could go somewhere potentially. Waddle, yeah, if he's the lone starter, he could definitely have a revenge tour season. Probably big injury risk though. Nico's hard to say because we haven't got the tight ends yet. Nico's hard to say because, he still did really well. Like, I wouldn't say revenge tour. He came back. He was playing, you know what I mean? Stroud, no thank you. Again, Rashee Rice will revisit that later. DK's pretty good. I don't know if I'll put DK on yet. Tight end-wise, obviously, McBride's touchdown revenge tour, but that doesn't count because he was still so good. But his touchdowns will have a revenge tour, hopefully. Ingram, maybe. Kincaid, possible. Ferguson, maybe. It's really just Laporta. You know, I could almost say these are the top revenge tour candidates by a country mile at their positions, and then I guess swing back up on a quarterback and just say Mahomes. You know, because Mahomes had such a bad year from a fantasy perspective, like all year long. I think he qualifies. Fields definitely in the mix for that. I'm going to say this is my revenge tour board. This is a pretty damn good looking revenge tour. And to be honest with you, Mahomes is still going to have tons of doubt. Laporta is still going to have a plethora of doubt, I believe. Breece Hall is still going to be very much doubted. MHJ is absolutely going to be doubted. I don't want to hear later on when these guys start climbing and people feel more comfortable that this isn't a bold list. This is absolutely a bold list. These are probably 4 of the most doubted potential studs that are out there in fantasy, and they're all my revenge tour. Let's run this back for good measure. I give you my top player at each position revenge tour board. Here you go. All doubted. All doubted players. All doubted players. That's a good looking board. We're starting off the off season hot. I mean, that, like, guys, this is as clear as day. People are going to run away from these players. Some will like them. But people are already like, Laporta, he's so bad. He's not the guy I thought he was. Mahomes has never been good, Smitty. You just like Mahomes. Mahomes is so doubted still. I mean, his finish will determine a lot too, though. If he blows up in the playoffs here, it's gonna be hard to get him as cheap. But I think he'll still be cheap because people will say, oh, he does that in the playoffs and he folds during the year. So I think there'll still be a lot of doubters. Breece Hall's just look. Do I want Breece Hall at 5 overall this year? If Breece Hall's ADP climbed to 5, 6, 7 overall, I can't draft him there. But guess what? You don't have to. He's fallen not out of round 1. No. He's fallen not into round 2. No. The bottom of round 2, I still say no. I think his ADP at the very earliest will be mid-3rd round. It could be 4th round in some cases. It depends on some things. But right now, no one believes in Breece Hall. Breece Hall, all of the risk is baked into his value. We'll have an entirely separate video. In fact, I think maybe that will be tonight's video. Breece Hall, panic chamber or not? Revenge tour? Yes. That show will be tonight. I'll see you all tonight. Breece Hall.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the 3rd, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
In the 3rd, don't stall. Now the video lines up again. That video that was so funny that we play 3rd round. Remember when that was nice. He's back in the 3rd round.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the 3rd, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece.
He does a hull of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
Mr. London, what seems to be the problem? I've been a little off. Can't seem to get things going, if you know what I mean.
I think I have just the thing for you, Mr. London.
Once upon a time, Trey McBride saw two quarterbacks cross streams.
There are 2 5s?
They're gonna cross streams.
He worked effortlessly trying to accomplish this feat on his own. Then, one day, he crossed his 4th and 5th round average draft position. And then, this occurred. Get McBride.
See you guys at midnight Eastern. Deuces. Thank you for all my super chats, everybody. The gifted members by New Age Outlaw. Celebratory messages. Got none of them today. I'll try and read all those consistently at the end of every show. So if anybody's wondering why I haven't read their celebratory message, my routine will be once I get on this screen, I will read them. That will keep me consistent with it. They don't pop up like regular super chats, so I don't know when they're there. Thank you, Daily, Sean Daly with the $20 TM42, Himothy, Ray G, and the guy. Thank you for all the super chats. You guys absolutely rock. See you tonight.
Get breached. Get lammed. Your Bijan card has been revoked.